Well, crossing over to the United States, where the U.S. Senate panel has given the green light to military action against Syria, as the Obama administration pushes to get more lawmakers on board with its strike plans. The U.S. Senate Foreign Relations Committee approved a resolution clearing the way for a vote on the planned military action in the full Senate. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, along with the Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel, have appeared before House of Representatives panel. They have to persuade lawmakers to back Obama's plans for attacking Syria. Earlier, Kerry revealed that certain Arab states have offered to pay all the costs of an attack on Syria. Kerry says the Arabs' offer is right now on the table. Let's switch over to Ohio, joined by senior editor of Veterans Today, Mr. Gordon Duff. Thank you so much for being with us. So, well, we're one step closer to that American strike on Syria. Now the U.S. Senate panel has approved the authorization. Do you think that the Congress in general, the full Senate, will actually give the go-ahead for the strike?
It's a certainty. The margins are going to be, they were prearranged. The president will probably get 55, 56 votes. The Israelis who have purchased those votes didn't want to overspend.
Okay, so but you think that it's already prearranged and they will definitely get the votes that they want?
It's a done deal.
Okay, well, let's look at the situation then. We're talking about a strike now on Syria, as you said, when the Senate actually convened. It's basically a done deal. And now we heard today, we had Secretary of State John Kerry saying the Arabs, many of the Arab countries are ready to pay for it. It's on the table right now. Tell me about this connection. It almost appeared that he was saying that we have someone, we have a backer for this. We don't even have to pay for it. So now let's just go for it and do it. There seems to be a very, very callous attitude towards this war on Syria coming out of the United States.
You know, almost every organization that has contacted me over the past few weeks, from the left, from the right, military organizations of every type, are all opposed. The American public has never been against something as much as it's against this. The percentages are probably as high as 80%. No one here wants this war at all. It is purely being manufactured within the White House by political advisors around the president that are separating him from his military advisors. The president's military advisors are totally opposed to this move, and in meetings before the Senate, when Secretary of State Kerry tried to get Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Marty Dempsey, to speak in favor of this attack, Dempsey refused to speak at all. It was a very embarrassing moment.
So who is basically behind this attack, Gordon, as far as in the United States? Who does it benefit, and who really wants to go to war? It almost seems that even the U.S. president at some of the time has been basically dragging his feet. I'm not sure. But it seems to be a wide perspective even within the administration. So who benefits from this war? Why does Washington want to absolutely attack Syria?
The president was put into this position being stupid enough to listen to advisors. He was manipulated into this. It's an attempt to destroy his presidency, his credibility, his historical standing. It will work. It is a war against the U.S. presidency, carefully orchestrated by Israel. You know, the missile test in the Mediterranean yesterday, the reported stories about that are totally fictitious. That was an attempt by Israel to drop a missile into a populated target in downtown Damascus. That was blocked. The Russians have been very public about that. It's been very embarrassing. Now, this is, there's no way of calling it anything but a plot. No one would dare call this plot a conspiracy theory. It's not a theory. It's very real.
Well, as you said, Gordon, it has been interesting to see the percentage of Americans who are speaking out from the right to the left on this situation. What makes it different this time around that we see across the board the majority of Americans absolutely against this war in Syria, as opposed to Iraq, although there were some who were against the war in Iraq? But definitely, we did not have the type of reaction that we're already having even prior to this strike on Syria.
You know, normally we have the military behind war. They're against war. Normally we have the military-industrial complex behind a war. They don't see a profit in this. They can't steal oil there. They can't grow narcotics there. There's no reason to go to Syria. And the other thing, of course, is that we are confronting Russia at a time when they are very powerful. And this morning, President Putin made it ambiguously clear that if the United States attacks Syria, he is planning a response, and one of the responses is to begin shipping advanced air defense weapons to Iran.
Okay. So, Gordon, one last question. Do you think, who's the main recipient then of this war on Syria? It
would be I would call them the new axis of evil. Tehran, the Saudis, well, not Tehran, but sorry, Tel Aviv, Istanbul, Ankara, the Ottoman Empire, and the Saudis. And it's clearly meant to cascade a war that's going to spread from Syria. It's going to destroy Lebanon. It's already occupying Jordan. It's going to put Iraq in civil war. It's going to divide Kurdistan, break that away, and attach that to Turkey. And the eventual attack is going to be on Iran.
So you say basically Tel Aviv, Ankara, and Riyadh are the main recipients. That's correct?
Absolutely. It's a very simple plot with broader backing that we aren't seeing from the Chinese. And that's the globalist aspect of that the U.S. is seeing, the Russians are seeing. They're going to be the longtime recipients because a vacuum of power is going to be created in Africa if the U.S. folds up and is embarrassed, and it's going to be. The Chinese will be the recipients. They will be, they'll be in power there. And in Europe, when the U.S. is humiliated, it's going to leave the road open for Russia. This is a very powerful geopolitical move and a horrific disaster for the Obama presidency and for the United States.
Thank you so much for being with us, Mr. Gordon Duff, Senior Editor of Veterans Today out of Ohio.